All right, Steiny and Guru with you. Welcome in Dan Dibley and Mark Willard. It is the crossover. Hi, guys. How are you?
My favorite part of the day.
There we go.
Like, why would you do that? Why would you start a segment
Light them up. There they
like
are.
that?
There they are.
Like what?
Now, how can I take that in any other way
What do you say?
than because now I get a break from Steiny?
I didn't even hear.
Oh, no. Oh, I thought I
So
went
your
out.
favorite part of the day isn't 10:05
No,
when we start a show.
149.
I'm a party guy. If you knew your partner, and the more the merrier. So when these two dudes show up, just like Bonte and Shasky when we do the exchange when they leave.
You used to hate that.
No, but I love it. I love my guys.
It changes the
What's up,
calculus.
brother?
It changes the calculus of the room.
Yeah,
I got to
Dibs
do
got
this.
fresh shave.
I got to do this with the
Man.
dogs at the dog park because Christy's dog takes Penny's ball.
Okay.
And Penny is kind of a beta dog, and she doesn't like it. She won't. She's bigger, stronger, faster, but she won't take it back. Okay, she just sits there and
She's
barks.
scared, right.
She just sit there and bark.
She
and
got mossed.
Right, and the little dog who mossed
you
her
one.
is just sitting there, like looking at her, like, "What are you gonna do?
Oh, boy.
I got the ball. What are you gonna do?" But she doesn't really care about the dog, so I'll go over, clap it up,
Yeah.
and I'll make them move because it changes the calculus of the room. And then they move around and everybody calms down a little bit. So that's
Sure.
what we do.
So
we get
tomorrow-
would you change the calculus of the room?
For my partner's sake, when you guys come in, I'm like, what's up, Dan? You know what? I'll be
do
looking like
that.
it's a drag. What's up?
No, you could be happy.
You're my
You-
guy. We had a great. This dude's been on one today.
I know. I actually was going to come in here and make you very happy,
But
Steiny.
now he's going the other
just
way.
slow play
Yeah.
that.
Oh,
Why?
okay.
You want me to slow play it?
It's slow play it
All
because
right.
I already came in earlier before you even got here, and I was already.
You've already done radio with these gentlemen today?
No, but I come in during the break
Yeah,
because I get here
okay.
I get here maybe about half an hour before you or so, and I always try to come in during the break, and I try to give them some feedback and I was texting them earlier because Evan was, so wildly wrong about a dolphin being a fish.
A fish, right. I heard that part.
That offended me, and then
Yeah.
so he and I had a back and forth.
Now,
and
why
I-
does that offend you?
Because he's better than that, Mark.
Oh.
Radio offend.
And dolphins are
Guys,
mammals,
I'm
Mark.
just apologies
Yes.
to
Yeah,
them.
Yes.
dolphins are
Yes.
mammals.
And
It's not
dolphins
like
are people, too.
There you go.
Yeah, and so and then I came in here and I praised Steiny for his 2-0 start, and I'm really proud of him for his 2-0 fantasy start.
The
But he's
Only per-
acting cocky.
Well, what's
he
fantasy
should.
for?
Yeah.
There's
If
nobody
he goes
wants a
2-5,
demure
let's
fantasy
get the Steiny
partner.
cam on this guy.
Nobody wants
the
a-
league is just wait.
Nobody wants class in fantasy football.
Guru,
Don't
it's
be
like-
classy.
You know,
want you to
there's
lose
18,
so bad.
there's
Friends.
18 weeks
That's
in
the
golf.
point.
It's very similar to 18 holes in golf. We don't get too high or too low. Couple pars. I started the season.
Cheech and Chong high. You've been talking because you
think
guys
I-
don't
no,
hear
no.
it and see it.
I think I
mixed up
play
with
you
you.
this week. I think I play you this week.
Well, you're in trouble. I put up
Yeah.
191.
I'm in trouble. Have you looked at the standings? Do you know who's right below Steiny?
I'm 500.
and I'm
okay.
not. I'm
All right.
2-0.
But I almost scored 200.
But see, I'm not going to be like.
Okay,
let's
I
not
got
be.
you.
Let's make
All
an
right.
agreement right now.
let's have a good competition.
Whoever wins gets to not be classy. I don't know if you and I can do it.
Right.
We don't
Well,
really
no.
have that dynamic, but we can
You ain't
try.
see me on the hoop court. I can get the
All right.
Dipper Claus has a press conference scheduled today for 2:30 to address.
Uh-oh.
Wow.
There's been a lot of unrest in our fan base, and we're 13th out of 14. So I will
What's-
officially,
what?
I will
On the
officially
hot
address
seat?
the media. I am on the hot seat.
Are you going to take accountability? Because I'm sick of giving you a pass.
2:30, Mark. 2:30.
Wow,
You can tune
early.
in. I mean, I'm trying to
right.
schedule some content for our show.
Yeah.
Because other than that, it's is Brock Purdy good or just really good?
We're going to get to the grit
Go
of
ahead,
what's going on
Steiny.
in the sports
Steiny's got
world.
something.
Oh,
Jim Moley. I think we all need a beer at the old ship I'm buying. He paid $5 for it.
well, you know what?
Maybe later
One
this
day,
week.
All
Jim.
right, Moley.
We'll wait
How
for
about
Willard
Friday?
and Dibs to get off at 6, honestly. And you guys come down if
When?
you can, whenever.
Friday.
We'll pick
It's
a day.
not a payday
Oh.
Friday. And let's do it Friday.
I was day
Friday.
drinking. If you can,
I'll
Will.
check my calendar.
Yeah, exactly.
Will
There's a-
got 10
there's a-
jobs.
there's a good reason
Yeah.
it's Friday.
Willard got 10
He's
jobs.
got 3
yeah.
kids and a bunch of problems.
Well, and I'm going to not come home after the show on Thursday.
Oh,
'cause
yeah,
we're gonna
you
be
got
at the
the
49er
game.
game. So, yeah, I'll check. I'll check and see what's cooking.
Okay.
It's fair.
All right.
What else are we going to
Too
talk
early
about?
for the
Well, I
legal.
had something before I was
Two-
interrupted.
Like, oh,
Oh.
you got interrupted? This is crazy.
The crossover?
Thank you.
You kind of stole
I don't know when to jump in with the
I'll give
super
myself
text.
a 4.
Oh, the super. He called you the super text.
No, he's talking about the YouTube.
We were just throwing this back and forth. I don't know if you heard, but Willard, it bothers me because I'm a happy-go-lucky dude. understand rivalries. I've been to the dark
Mountaintop.
side. And a Patriot fan succumbed to his injuries and passed away. And I asked Steiny, we talked about it briefly. Since the pandemic, I feel like we're seeing more fights at sporting events. Do you two say yay or nay? Because what the hell is happening? And how dare the people film it, though, Dibs,
Well,
and not try to break it up?
I heard you guys talk about this, and the one thought that went through my mind, because obviously none of us have the data on this. I wonder if we just see it more. I wonder if we see it more because of the second part of your comment, which is that everybody rips their phone out and films it. I imagine, like, come on, a lot of us listening here, we all grew up going to Candlestick, and you saw fights. You saw fights. I don't know if they ever necessarily got this brutal, but
Yes,
what
they
happened?
did.
Yeah, like
They did.
I think they did, and we didn't see it. It just wasn't on the internet. It didn't get filmed. So I think that's now why it feels like almost every weekend, every other weekend.
But there's multiple
There's
men,
something.
women.
And this is like, I don't know what to say about this. You know, somebody lost their life. Like it's too predictable what to say. You know what I mean? Like, don't get in fights in sporting events. It's not worth it. Blah, blah. Like, I don't know.
So you think
I
my
sound like-
pandemic assessment is a reach?
Maybe.
that
I
people
don't
are
know if
more
it's
angry?
a reach. I don't know. I don't know the answer. But what went through my head is I wonder if it's always been this way and we just see it.
It's always been this way, and now we just see it.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking about the Giant Dodger doubleheader that I was at,
I was at
1988,
where they put we made the gates.
Correct.
Kirk Gibson on the Dodgers.
Correct.
Yeah.
And I was remembering that.
Oh, boy.
You used to be able to, Steiny, and I think you were out here in 88.
Got here in 90.
Okay, so 88. And before that, you used to be able to jump out of the left field
Yes.
bleachers and pursue a
No
home
doubt.
run ball.
Pursue a ball.
Because
Yes.
there was room between the home run fence and it was basically the end zone or a little bit more than the end zone to where the bleachers were. You could jump out and you could go get the home run ball. I was there that game. I can't believe you were there.
And it got so rowdy that the ball would be hit to the first baseman and people would rush out there and jump on the fence like it was a homer. And
Exactly.
it was incredible.
Pop flight is short and like 70 people are out of the
Damn,
seats and
no
like jumping
way.
like Spider-Man on the fence. And on that day, 100 people were ejected because of fighting Giants-Dodgers doubleheader. So it's always been going on. And this is now, that's 35 years ago. And so it's always been happening, but now you're right, Goo. People like immediately whip out your phone.
That's just a
and now,
part.
because I want to get my own cred for being somebody who can put this on my IG. I'm going to get some clout.
I mean, in
also-
fairness, you
I
get.
was-
Yeah, go ahead, Stein.
I mean, then you get the video of somebody you might need to prosecute or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I was with you too,
Right,
Steiny.
right.
I understood what you were saying there, which is that I'm not going to wag my finger at anybody on this because what is it that somebody who is 20 yards away supposed to do? I'm not going to go get in that.
and that's there's
If
a
you-
danger
if-
in that now,
like,
Willard,
listen,
trying to break it up.
This may not sound like a nice thing to say, okay? But if you are 20 feet away from me, 20 yards away from me, and you have decided that you would like alcohol to run your show, man, I'm not getting in on that. Let alcohol run your show.
Yeah.
And if you get hurt or you end up in jail, I'm not getting in this. Like you said, yeah, you could get clocked, you could get arrested. You have no idea I'm not getting in
Yeah.
there. If you all
That has been
want
my
to,
rule.
if you all want to act like idiots, do it on your own time and space. I got no time, no desire, and no obligation to get into that at all. That's how I
You
feel.
could text 41784 if
Well,
you
they got
find-
that now.
You know,
Stop.
yeah, no. Listen, there was Niners Raiders last year at Allegiant in Vegas. About, I don't know, 10 rows in front of me, and it was just jabbing, just
Okay.
jibber jabber. But you don't know how it's going to go. That's how it starts. And it was a couple people, like largely the Niner Raider thing that day was beautiful because the Raider fans were kind of like, we're not very good.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of you. So, like, we're just going to, right? And it was playful, but it got a little out of hand.
Yeah.
People got a little going, about 10 rows in front of me. And all I did is I turn around. I put a hand up to the usher. And I said, attention. And I pointed. That's it.
Oh, you snitch.
That's it. No phone, no nothing. I'm not going down there.
Yeah.
You work here. I want to point that out to
So
you.
you don't want to see anybody get
and
hurt.
now it's 2nd down and 4, and I'm going back to the game.
He doesn't care if anybody gets hurt. He just doesn't want it to interfere with him watching the game. Which I
No. It wasn't. No, they weren't my way. They weren't my
'cause
way.
You didn't have to. What you saw?
They're not blocking my
percolate.
view.
Yeah, you saw it
They're
percolate.
just like, hey,
Right.
it'd be good if 2 people didn't start clocking each other, and it looks like it's heading that way. So maybe you, Usher, go get in there. I'm not getting in there.
Right.
I got no interest.
And so we're asking an usher to come down and you see these all the time where, something actually does pop off and now the usher comes down and it's like you're asking an usher to get
Or-
in between 5 people
No.
who are it's
I'm not
Haymaker
asking
Central.
anything.
I'm saying this is the construct that we have.
There's security that's a level above Usher, and I would imagine
Right.
Usher has the availability, the access
Correct.
to that security.
Sure.
For me, I'm just like, send your attention here. That's happening,
Right.
and now I'm out.
And we're about 3 plays away from haymakers, potentially.
I mean, what do you want another fan to do? You want another fan to go get involved?
no.
Yeah, I feel no obligation. I didn't film it, but I got no obligation to go.
You
get
have no
involved.
obligation, but
Yeah.
where we are now as a society is where you get to a point where you go to a game and the culture is pregame, get absolutely blackout drunk, and then go in there with your jersey on
Right.
and talk your mess. And then if somebody dares to talk back to you, now we're fighting. And if you're an innocent Mark Willard or the lovely Christie or God forbid a family of 4 nearby and you're caught up in collateral damage, that's just the way it goes now as a football fan.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM and HD1 San Francisco, always live on the free Odyssey app, Twitch and YouTube, powered by First NorCal Credit Union.
You know what crossed my mind also was the experience Bonte and Joe had in Philly last year.
Wow.
And you sit there and you go, okay, like largely what has taken place since then is playful. They are building a rivalry with Philly radio stations, Philly fans, what have you. And, nobody's gotten hurt. But it doesn't always go that way. You know what I mean? And so,
Man.
this is no fault of theirs, right? And I know that the things that they heard and the
And there's
things
other
that,
parts to that story.
Of course.
We don't know what they went through that was just like, oh my gosh, they could have got ugly.
I've not walked in those shoes. I wasn't there. I didn't see it. I've seen the video. I've been to games in Philly when the Cowboys are in town. I know what it sounds like. I know what that feels like. I know what that fan base does. And but it's like, I don't know. We sort of as fans, we get caught up, right? And it's like Niner fan versus Philly fan, and right, like be a man and rep your squad and your colors and all this. It's like, no, there's other people playing football. Get home safe.
That's the goal.
Just go. Just get home.
Yeah. And Dibs,
know
I
what I
grew
mean?
up at this going to the Stick, the Coliseum, so I've seen a lot. But this was a Redskin game 2 weeks ago, and I kept watching the video. The stuff that I say I hate. It's like it's one thing to drink and get liquored up, but these tussles are TKOs. And I want to just talk to the dude. What would make you think you had hands? It ain't even close. You're getting pummeled. This guy was just in the chair. Like, the guy is like 6 straight shots. And I want to talk to him like, what made you think you, like, watch the game, bud? But Willard, I mean, like a punching bag. I'm like, you of all people should be here to watch the game, not fight, because you can't fight.
Right, especially when you're like .22 on the 122
that's
on the
boy,
on the BAC. I mean, even if you are a great fighter, if you are more than half in the bag, I don't like your chances, especially when it comes to, somebody who's 2 rows up and you're 2 rows down. Now we're dealing with gravity and you're hammered. You're going to catch about 4 or 5 to the face.
But let's also keep this in mind now, okay? Whoever this was that threw the punch last night, this starts as, you root for the Dolphins and I root for the Patriots. We're going to rep our squad. We've both had too much to drink. And right, it starts as trash talk. This man is now on film and is going to spend the rest of his life in jail.
And now,
he killed somebody.
Incredible.
He killed somebody.
Wow.
You think you just, I took a shot, right? I stood up for me, and it took you down. Well, the person's head hit the ground the wrong way, and now that's it. Your life's over.
That's right.
So, that's why I go back to what I said. I know it doesn't sound like the nicest thing to say, but if y'all want to go be idiots at a game, just
never been my thing, man.
go do it somewhere else, man. Be be morons on your time. It's crazy to get involved in that
Claymon
stuff.
on the YouTube chat, liquid courage, Dibs. That's what they call it.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, and especially when you get into a situation where you're going to a game, like Mark said, it's like you're a fan of a team and you get tickets and you go to the game and your goal should be like, have fun, get drunk if you want, but root your team on to victory. And if things go bad and you lose, okay, then go home, sleep it off, and go back to work the next day. But to go to a game and to not make it out because you get hit and your head goes down, and even to be a fan around that, can you imagine seeing that? I mean, it's just.
God.
And these videos have the kids running like there's no.
I think the guy that got killed, I think his kid was sitting with him.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
man.
I mean.
I think that's yeah. So, anyway, I don't know how to transition out of that, but I will say this.
Well, the Giants play tonight.
Yeah, they
Well,
do.
you're a pro. Let's see it.
Let's
hear it.
Okay. Did you see the Verducci article?
Evan just told us
That
on
just
air
told
about
us.
it. Oh,
So, okay.
man.
Now, listeners aren't going to know what this is, but Tom Verducci, who is a very, very well-known baseball writer for years.
National.
Feels like he's been writing since I was 5 years old. And I love that you said that he's national, because that's actually what caught my attention first. The basic idea of the article, there's a quote in it from Verducci that says, if this is the future of baseball, I want no part of it. And he is talking specifically about the San Francisco Giants and says that of all the playoff contenders, they are by far and away the most boring of them all, non-compelling. We all know this. We've been sitting here talking about this all summer. What is fascinating to me above all else is that a national writer tapped in on such a level to what's happening here that they accessed that dynamic and spoke so directly to this fan base. So this is, because we do know analytics are being used everywhere. Not like this.
Platoon.
And this is maybe the biggest and most damning thing that's been written about this regime so far to date, because the tone is, it doesn't matter if they make the playoffs. We still don't want this. Even if you could go win the World Series and we're still out. And I think that captures the way a lot of fans feel right now, don't you?
But it doesn't affect the vote of confidence from the Giants brass that they got verbally.
But that's
just
one more
last
year.
week.
That's one more year. Like he basically said they're under
You know
contract
what,
next year.
Willard, real quick, it could be one more long year.
It could be. It also could be full of crap. Because remember, Mike Dunleavy Jr. is like, well, Jordan Poole's under
I'll
contract.
never forget.
He's going to be here next year.
He was under
3 days
contract,
later, he was Wizards.
Kyle
So-
Shanahan like Trey Lance.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
there you go.
From Verducci, he says, truncated starts by pitchers, an ever-changing lineup with role players and no stars, a 16-person coaching staff, the worst team speed of any contender. The Giants are a well-managed success more than they are an aesthetic one.
Yeah.
And that's
And he used your favorite word.
truncated.
Truncated.
Well,
It's
his
a
po-
truncated.
His point
Thank you,
is,
Steiny.
with all of that, they've won more games than they've lost. And it's almost a danger to the game, I think is his point.
Right.
I haven't read the whole thing. But
He
if
said 2 games over flat mediocrity.
Yeah, if this works, that's terrible for the sport, right? It's terrible for the sport because it's not entertaining, and it needs to be that too. Like we need to feel connected to the team, and we don't.
Giant starters have thrown 72 pitches per start, by far the shortest leash in MLB. 43 times they've thrown less than 3 innings.
Yeah, they don't-
43 times.
This just popped to me. The best Giant player not named Logan Webb. I'll wait for your answers.
It's Wilmer Flores, but you could, I mean, and this is what Mark always says about like players. You could have Wilmer Flores in the room with us right now, and you'd be like,
Is that your answer?
I would have said Doval. It's been a little rough the last month. I would have said Doval,
Steiny?
Who cares?
and maybe that's the best answer of them all.
that is the best answer.
But
mean-
that's an indictment.
Of
I
course.
know exactly what you're saying, and I agree. They're still, I get it. They're still right there, though.
Yeah,
And I do think this is one of the first times where I don't think people don't want them to make the playoffs, but I do think most people don't care. Which
agree
I
with
Well,
can't.
they're not coming to the
I-
game.
And I can't believe that,
well,
really.
I agree, but I also let's roll back for a second. I'd like to reject that they're right there. They're
I
not.
mean,
they're not right there.
Man,
They're not right there.
we
And-
found that out over the weekend.
Correct.
But we could play that game forever.
Well, I mean, look, they got 2 games in 24 hours,
Yep.
and they better win them both. And even if they do, they're still
no
less
doubt.
than 50-50.
No doubt.
I would say.
No, I agree.
And so, what's the percentage?
Well, how do you get not even popular? How do you get some pizzazz to your team, Farhan?
Playoff odds right now 13.7%.
Right.
So that's not right there. They're not right there.
It's 1
And
and
they're
8,
not exciting.
basically.
I mean, it's
1 and 7, 1 and 8.
Yeah, it's like Johnny Cueto at the
But
plate.
how do you fix
Get a
this,
hit.
Willard? Forget the playoffs. How do you get exciting? How do you get from not stale?
There's no blueprint. You have to get good players.
Well,
You have to get good players, and then you have to you have to.
there's one person responsible for that.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. He has not succeeded, and you can go right situation by situation and come up with the reason. You know what I mean? Aaron Judge is not a Giant. I don't blame Farhan for that. Aaron didn't want to come, but somewhere along the road of the story comes, here's your job, and it has not been successful. And I think that's where the ownership is. So I do not think it's 100% sure that they're back next year. I think it's likely. But if they are, it is on a put up or shut up year.
I think it's 100% that they're back next year.
I do too.
I would say
Wow.
it's 50% that they're back the year after.
Well, I think the year after is solely based on what they do next year.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah.
where I would put it at 50-50
Yeah, maybe.
because
I mean, who knows how
Well,
they flip it.
if you don't become more exciting and you finish next year at 84 and 78, then enough.
Here's what I wonder about Farhan. If you go into a year like that, like Farhan is so good, supposedly, at the long play, right? All the visuals are on the long play. We don't want Gosman because long play, maybe that was wrong. We don't want Rodon. Long play, that was right. If you're good at the long play, how do you play it when someone says this year or you're out?
It's the short play.
There's
yeah,
no
good
more
point.
long play.
Right.
So you can't have patience for the farm anymore.
So if we
There's-
see a
there's
3
no
and
de-
10 or 3 and 12 and it got ugly, just whatever they got left, you guys don't think that could sway? It's 100%. Would you be down to 85?
I
like
actually-
if they just bottom out here the next 2-3 weeks.
I
I'm
don't think
still
it
at 100.
matters.
Yeah, I don't think
See,
it matters.
I think this year's kind of happened too quick for them in a way. I'm talking about ownership. Like they're not prepared to fire them right now because they didn't think they'd be here. That's why I think they're given a vote of confidence because next year then they can spend time thinking about. Do you think do you think they have any clue
Well,
what they would do if they'd fire them right now? I don't.
No, and that's why I think you guys are
Buster Posey.
You're probably right, and no matter what happens here with the rest of the schedule, and no matter who thinks this is believable, what is it? It's September 19th.
Yep.
Well, you are less than you're less than 2 months away from Shohei and Cody Bellinger and hitting the free agent market, and you've got to be ready. So is the message to them, oh, by the way, just stand by. We're in the process of hiring someone
Sure.
who wants to come talk to
That's a
you.
good
Boy,
point.
oh boy.
I don't think they're going to do that.
Man.
Well, they got to figure something out on 95.7 the game.
Now that was professional.